the saying goes, everyone aspires to be the best that they can be. At least that's what we're told and taught, particularly by our parents, right? But we're joined on set by a local author, Carolyn Correia, who recently launched a second book about exactly that, how to find yourself and claim what's yours. The book targets entrepreneurs like herself, as well as artists, persons transitioning careers or seeking a deeper purpose through their life's work. Ms. Correia is here to tell us more about the book and her experience publishing the book. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having
So
me.
this is your second book, and I'll ask you shortly about the first one, but just tell us about what in your life's journey got you to the point where you wanted to put this out, and about the title as well.
Okay, well, the book was inspired by my dad in 2009. I was writing for the Express at the time, the Woman Express, and the Jamaican magazine. And I thought he told me to just write about your life and how you see the world. And it's so funny, in the preface, I talk about that whole conversation. And I was like, what am I going to write to fill all these pages? It's a book, you see. Mm-hmm. And I started to write that same evening, and it was a 6-year journey. So I chronicled how I transitioned through the various aspects of my life, wanting to be a writer, then becoming a published writer, wanting to transition from a more technical field into a more creative field, moving to Tobago, and then finally becoming an entrepreneur, moving back to Trinidad and following my dream. So I thought that other people would be able to share from these experiences. So that was my main motivation and inspiration.
So how did that journey then translate into this particular title? Because it's a very strong title. It's really, it's potent with that concept of empowerment and self-empowerment. What in that title do you think is the message that will connect with people?
I think it's what will most strike you is that this is coming from a person just like everybody else. Just like me and you, I am human. I make mistakes, I overcome adversity, I rise through the challenges. And, I give examples from my life. And I think that people would really be able to connect with that, with a story that is so relevant. I mean, I did some book talks this year, so I was on a little book tour. I did one at the Port of Spain Library. I had 2 launches, first of all, one in Port of Spain and one in Tobago, since Tobago provided a lot of that inspiration for me. Then I had a few book talks at Nales, Port of Spain, Sawa Library, and recently the Bocas Lit Fest invited me to do a book talk with the Scarborough Library for my first book, Thinking Out Loud. And it was just so amazing to hear people, how they connected with the information, even in the first book.
And tell us a little bit about what that first book is about.
Well, as I said, it's a collection of articles, inspirational articles. I was previously published in the Woman Express and a Jamaican magazine called Panache Jamaica. And it's about life, it's about aging, turning 30 when I had a mini meltdown, not a serious meltdown, but I told my coworkers, oh my gosh, I'm going to be old in a few days. So they were like, Carolyn, it's not that serious, And
you're making me scared because I'm headed for that next year.
And it's all the different experiences I had, and aging, and I realized at the end of the day that age is really just a number. It's just a number that seems big, but at the end of the day, I'm 30 and counting. I feel no different. So the book is also about family, about relationships, about love, about celebrating milestones. It's a whole bunch of stuff. It's, feel-good articles and stuff that's very relevant to all of us.
And your experience publishing the book, you can hold up the How to Find Yourself so people can see the cover. This is self-publishing that you went through. Tell us about that.
This was published with CreateSpace, Amazon, and it was a fairly easy process. It took all of 24 hours. The first book was done with Lulu Publishing in 2011, and this took about 6 to 8 weeks. So once you do your artwork, you have to do, so with self-publishing, you have to do a lot of the work yourself. So I had a great editor, Patricia Granham, who is from South Trinidad, and she worked with me. I like to call her my book coach. She was so amazing. And I had a couple beta readers, and she also did the design for the second book. And you just submit your artwork, you proof it digitally, you can actually flip the pages and everything, and you know, Amazon will prove it, and you order your prints, and it's as easy as that.
So amazing.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of authors on who've gone through the same route of self-publishing. It's very just amazing to see that you don't have to wait on a publisher to pick up your book and shop it around, and you're kind of empowered to do your own thing.
And not only that, sorry, I chose self-publishing because for my second book, I wanted to go the route of traditional publishing. And I actually did a free ebook for anybody that's interested in learning about the publishing experience. I chose self-publishing because traditional publishers tend to take a longer period to approve your work. So you're sending your entire intellectual property to strangers, usually in another country, and you know, they could either go yay or nay, they could refuse your work, they could do whatever they want with it, you know, and sometimes it takes up to 6 months to a year. So I thought that, you know, this was simpler, this was easier. I know for sure which hands it's going into, and I know that it's a guarantee to publication. And you can still hit the bestsellers list with self-publishing. So I did my research well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell us, in terms of people wanting to get a hold of the book, where can they purchase it?
The book is available at all locations of RIK, Metropolitan Book Suppliers, Capitol Plaza, Frederick Street, Sharon St. James on Bournes Road, the I-95 Book Source Bookshop, and books and office supplies in I hope I'm saying it right, Tobago. TLH Mall, Tobago. It's also available on Kindle and paperback on Amazon. And I also have an audiobook that I did last year, which I voiced myself at, I believe it's called Red Noise. It's Ramel Best and Samantha John's studio in Lego Martin.
Wow, such an interesting journey that, you know, would have gotten you to this point. You're an author, self-published, 2 books under your belt. What do you hope that people, I mean, these ventures sometimes may not reap the financial rewards that an author might look for with this. So what do you hope is the grand achievement that you can claim? And speaking of claiming what's yours, at the end of this experience?
I want people, and I want to encourage reading, because everybody's telling me reading is a dying art form. You know, parents should buy this book for their kids, whatever age. Well, you know, the book is really targeted for young adults and people as old as 50. Because, you know, it doesn't matter what stage you're at to realizing your dreams. I want people to walk away empowered, and if they're thinking of changing careers or starting a business or writing a book or even writing a column or starting a blog, you know, this book is for you. You know, it removes the barriers which hold you back from stepping out of your comfort zone and living your dream. You know, forgetting about fear and not worrying about what anybody says if you would fail or what they say if you try something new. You know, it's all about empowerment and motivation and finding that deep inside of you and not looking to anybody else, you know, to measure a yardstick against, you know, yourself, because the only person you need to compare yourself to is your former self. And keep reaching for greater heights.
I don't want you to give away too much of the book because the whole inspirational message coming out, Carolyn.
Thank you
so very much. Sometimes people get in their own heads and they don't push forward for things that they want. Now I feel like just jumping out of the chair and going to LA and auditioning for Days of Our Lives, because that was my childhood dream. We'll be back with so much more. We're talking at the Parang Festival when we come back. Stay with us.